Sole proprietorship. A company that has only one owner and this person has unlimited liability. This means they are fully responsible for the company losses and profits. If there's a local restaurant owned by one person and you want to sue the restaurant, you can sue the owner personally and try to take their possessions. Next is a partnership. It is a formal arrangement by two or more parties to manage and operate a business and share its profits. It is also an agreement between partners by a contract of trust. They share profits also. Example, if there's a local restaurant with 4 owners and you want to sue the restaurant, you can sue each of the owners personally. There are 3 types of partnership. First is general partnership. Second, limited partnership. And lastly, limited liability partnership. A general partnership comprises of 2 or more owners to run a business. In this partnership, each partner represents the firm with equal rights. In other words, the general partnership definition can be stated as those partnerships where rights and responsibilities are shared equally. In terms of management and decision making, each partner should take full responsibility for the debts and liability incurred by the other partner. If one partner is sued, all the other partners are considered accountable. The creditor or court will hold the partner's personal assets. Therefore, most of the partners do not opt for this partnership. Limited partnership. In this partnership, it includes both the general and limited partners. The general partner has unlimited liability, manages the business, and the other limited partners. The limited partners have limited control over the business. They are not associated with the everyday operations of the firm. Limited liability partnership. In limited liability partnership, all the partners have limited liability. Each partner is guarded against other partners' legal and financial mistakes. In most of these cases, the limited partners only invest and take profit share. They do not have interest in participating in management or decision making. This non-involvement means they do not have the right to compensate the partnership losses from their income tax return. Corporation. A company where the owners are a separate entity to the company. The owners have limited liability. Most big companies become corporations to reduce the risk for the owners. Example, if we want to sue a company, we cannot sue the owners personally. We can only sue the company. Supply function. The supply function is a mathematical equation that expresses the quantity of a commodity supplied as a function of the commodity's price. The supply function formula is as follows. QA is equals to F times PA and PB and X and Y and Z. Here, QA is the quantity of commodity A supplied. PA is the price of commodity A. PB is the price of related commodity B. X, Y, and Z are other variables affecting the product supply, like the cost of production, government intervention, level of technology G, and etc. Law of supply. The law of supply is the microeconomic law that states all other factors being equal. As the price of a product rises, the quantity supplied of the product will usually increase and vice versa. In other words, there is a direct relationship between price and quantity. If quantities responds in the same direction as price changes. We will use the product pencil. As the school starts, the demand of use of pencil rises the product quantity of a pencil that students use, and it will cause the producers to make more. Producer surplus. Producer surplus is the difference between how much a person would be willing to accept for a given quantity of a good versus how much they can receive by selling the good at a market price. The difference of surplus amount is the benefit the producer receives for selling the good in the market. Industry equilibrium in the short and long run. A firm is in equilibrium when it has no tendency to change its level of output. It needs neither expansion nor contraction. In the words of A.W. Stoner and D.C. Haig, a firm will be in equilibrium when it is earning maximum money profits. Its conditions. The firm is in equilibrium when it is earning maximum profits as the difference between its total revenue and total cost. First condition. All firms in an industry use homogeneous factors of production. Second, their costs are equal, therefore all cost curves are uniform. Third, all firms are of equal efficiency. Short-run equilibrium. Short-run equilibrium is when the aggregate amount of output demanded is equal to the aggregate amount of output supplied. If the amount of output demanded is greater than the amount of output produced, people chase after the limited goods available and drive up the price level. In response to the increase in the price level, producers create more goods and services. This continues until the amount of aggregate production equals the amount of aggregate demand. Long-run equilibrium. Long-run equilibrium is when prices have fully adjusted to production costs and the economy functions at its full potential. In the long run, it is possible to make more adjustments than in the short run. Prices will adjust to reflect any changes in the cost of production in the long run. A change in production cost does not have an effect on prices in the short run. Zero profit or normal profit. Zero profit is a profit metric that takes into consideration both explicit and implicit costs. It may be viewed in conjunction with economic profit. Normal profit occurs when the difference between a company's total revenue and combined explicit and implicit costs are equal to zero. Total revenue is equals to total cost minus explicit cost minus the implicit cost is equals to zero. Implicit costs are also known as opportunity cost and are costs that will influence economic and normal profit. Explicit costs are normal business costs that appear in a company's general ledger and directly affect its profitability. To better understand normal profit, we will suppose that Mia owns land and over the years, that land became one of the most valuable properties on that area. Mia could now rent out her land for 100,000 pesos a year. She had profited 100,000 a year for continuing to run the business over the years, but for some reason forgets to pay the taxes, which amounted to the same value of 100,000 pesos. If you deduct the taxes that Mia would pay, the economic profit will become zero, which is normal for economists. Rental rates and prices. Economic rent is an amount of money earned that exceeds which is economically or socially necessary. Economic rent should not be confused with normal profit or surplus. that arises in the course of competitive capitalist production. This term also differs from the traditional use of the word rent, which applies to the payments received in exchange for the temporary use of a particular good or property, such as land or housing. In classical economics, rent was the income derived from the ownership of land and other natural resources in fixed supply. Laws that government enacts to regulate prices are called price controls. Price controls come in two flavors. First is price selling keeps a price from rising above a certain level, while a price floor keeps a price from falling below a certain level. This section uses the demand and supply framework to analyze price sellings. Price sellings do not simply benefit renters at the expense of landlords. Rather, some renters or potential renters lose their housing as landlords convert apartments to co-op and convos. Even when the housing remains in the rental market, landlords tend to spend less on maintenance and on essentials like heating, cooling, hot water, and lighting. The first rule of economics is you do not get something for nothing. Everything has an opportunity cost. So if renters get cheaper housing than the market requires, they tend to also end up with lower quality housing.